I'm just going to share a bit of my journey. So when I was a young girl, before Mum remarried, Mum really struggled, and I remember her taking on a job. She was raising 4 girls on her own, and it was a really tough time for her. And I remember being hungry a lot, and even going for rubbish bins searching for food. I remember at school when a girl eating next to me twisties, dropped them on the floor, and I'd wait till no one was looking and pick them up. I guess that's what you do when you're hungry, you look. Had some special moments too. I remember a time when Mum got married again, and in the early stages, I remember she was working at a factory. It was a toilet paper factory, and we were going up to pick her up in the car. And the car, I think, broke down up in Kelston, and so we had to walk. We had to walk all the way to Henderson. I remember being really, really hungry and praying, "We need food, I'm hungry." And all along the way we kept finding coins, and it was enough to feed us. It was really cool. So I always treasure that. And I always think about the how they say that the prayer of a child. It's you get to a stage in life where life lets you down, and then you start to sort of your aims and your aspirations sort of become less and less. And I guess the innocence of a child, when you pray without doubt. And I don't know, but it's not always going to happen. But I just remember that, and it was pretty special to me. And even years later, when I'd see a 20-cent coin on the ground or something, I would remember that. Well, as I grew to be a teenager, life was not easy, but and there was a time where, being my rebel self, I wanted to, well, I got myself in some trouble and pretty much ended up on the streets. And I remember being cold and trying to find shelter, but not wanting to be found. And the best place I could find was inside the Lynmore. Inside Lynmore, Newland, there was, just as you walk in, there was the shelter area. And it was different back then. It's all been done up and different now, but I just remember worrying that the security people would come and shove me off, send me on my way. Even back then, you're conscious that you'll get in trouble for being there. But I'd sleep there until probably early in the morning, 6 o'clock, before hopefully they would turn up, and then I'd move on. Just remember being really cold. Like, I'd have this really warm jacket, and you'd think that it would keep you warm for the night, but no, that you really would feel that cold. So I guess that impressed on my mind a dream. And it wasn't until I was working at Pak'nSave at the age of 18 in the meat department, and I think we were talking about somebody that had won lotto, and they were talking about what they would do if they won lotto. And I remember thinking to myself, I didn't say it out to anybody, but I remember thinking to myself, if I win lotto, I'm going to help the homeless. I'm going to build a homeless shelter, and I'm going to start a soup kitchen. And that memory always stuck with me. Obviously, winning lotto is not the easiest thing to do. Well, today my life is pretty much achieving what I dreamed of when I was 18, except I haven't won lotto. It's been done by God's help, because there's no other way to explain the support and the timing of things and the blessings that we've received. Obviously, it led into Love Soup sort of began after fighting synthetics, but it became a reality, and it's still growing today. So Love Soup began in June 2013. It sort of was initiated by a post up on the Genuine Tokoroa Facebook page about the struggles, and they were thinking of having a soup kitchen in Tokoroa, and they wanted to know what the community thought about it. And there was like over 100 people, that commented on that post, and all in agreement that it's needed. So I asked if I could go ahead and try and work on the soup kitchen, and they said, and they agreed, and so I did. I went around the town and I researched further, and the same response. Pretty much everyone said yes and gave a thumbs up. And one store that I visited was like this, so it wasn't a no and it wasn't a yes, but they were pretty much, everyone was a thumbs up, but one was like that. So it was outstanding to see that people realise so much in Tokoroa, how much the struggle is real down